So before you get started, one thing that's probably a good thing to do is just disconnect your battery. We're going to be disconnecting the airbag, passenger airbag safety light, not the airbag itself, but just the light. And there's a check that the car tries to do with that will kind of mess things up. So easiest thing is just take your battery out, and then you won't have any issues when you're doing the rest of the stuff. So all you need to do is just take a 10 millimeter socket for me, but you can just disconnect the negative, and that's all you need to do. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is take off these trim pieces on the left side and the right side. With the left side, the way you're going to want to do that is you've got this trim piece down here, and you're going to want to reach kind of all the way underneath this here, kind of pull this down, and just slowly start to kind of unseat it. You're going to have to play with it a little bit. It can be helpful to have some of these little kind of panel clips to kind of get in there and pry it and that kind of thing. But otherwise, you'll see it'll start to remove, and you've got all these kind of different clips that are clipping in. Yeah, so just pull that down. And once that's kind of separated away, that will unclip here. From here, you can just pull on this guy. See that? And mine just popped right out. Sometimes you need to kind of work your way up and then angle it out to remove it that way. And then you'll go on to the one on the right side. So this trim piece I was able to pull just straight out from here. You may need to wiggle this panel to remove it as well. You just come on, work all the way up. There's a clip up here. You may need to just press down with your fingers to get up, but otherwise if you kind of just leverage and pull, you should be able to get it out. Let's see. This clip right in there. There we go. That's just that clip there. Okay, so once you have all of or both of the side panel trim pieces off, you'll see it's exposed these 4 screws, 2 on the left and 2 on the right. And so we'll start taking those off next. All right, so I've removed the 4 screws, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and the first thing I'm going to do is take the AC kind of panel off here. You can just pull on this, and this should just kind of come free like that. Come down. It's got 2 little clips down in there. You can kind of see it there. You just need to get it off of those, so just kind of give it a pull. And just be careful of the cable here. So we'll just set that down like that. You can start to see the next steps there. And then the next thing will come up here and remove this guy. I'm missing a little vent, but once you've got those unscrewed, you can just pull, same kind of thing. Give it a pull, and that whole thing should pop off. There you go. And then just be careful again, because you've got some cables back here. All right, so to fully remove the kind of AC front panel here, you got these 2 connectors. I find it easiest to use a tool, and you've got a little, you want to just pry right here, and that'll pop it out. It's a little hard to do one-handed, but if you just apply some pressure there, then the whole thing will come down. So I'll put the camera down for 1 second. So you can see now that the connector started to come out because I pushed down on here, and then you can just pull it out from there. And then same, except on this brown connector, it's on the back side where that little pry bar piece is. So I'll press on that and then be able to remove the second connector. All right, so once you have the bottom and the top removed, you can see the 4 screws. There's 2 on the top down here, those silver ones, and then 2 on the bottom, those silver ones. We'll use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove those, and then remove the whole head unit. All right, so I've got all 4 screws off. Now you can just take this head unit and kind of give it a pull. Sometimes it gets a little sticky with those tabs, so you can give it a little bit of force. Once you got those off, you'll look to the back and there'll be a couple of connectors you need to remove. So here on the back side, you've got all the connectors. These should all be pretty straightforward. Kind of just press down and unclip. So I'll unclip those now, and then you can remove the whole head unit. All right, so I've got the head unit removed. You can see all the connectors that we had there. We'll go get the new head unit and get the cables all installed. Okay, so when you get your unit, you're gonna have a couple of these little sheet metal pieces, and we're gonna wanna assemble these, basically just putting these pieces on the side. They'll kind of clip over, I'll show you in 1 second, and then screw them together, and then we'll take that whole thing and slide it onto and attach onto the main stereo unit. All right, that's what those little side pieces put on, and then you'll just put some screws in. I lined it up with the kind of second notch there from the front. You can see that, and then just make sure it's the same on the back, and you'll use these kind of M4 bolts. You can see it has a little diagram of it. And attach that 2 on the top on each side, so 8 total. Okay, so you can see those are screwed on. There's one side and the other, and then what we're going to do is thread this through thread that ribbon cable through that opening there. All right, so I fed the ribbon cable through the sheet metal bracket. Just make sure you pay attention. This is the right side, so if you're looking at it like it would be straight on in the car, this is the right side with all of your connectors here on the top. And then all you need to do is just use your screws, and there's 2 Phillips head on the top and the bottom for 4 screws total. So I'll screw those in now. All right, then the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your old head unit, and you're gonna take these sheet metal brackets off. You've got 3 screws on each side. These are T20s. You can kind of see the Torx there. So remove those, and then we're going to attach them onto the frame here, and I'll show you that in 1 second. All right, so you can see I've got the right sheet metal bracket from the old stereo on the right hand side, and you can kind of see those 2 center holes line up. You've got even like a little notch here to align them. That one does not have a hole, the top bolt. So then you just screw those in, and I'll do this one, and then also this the left hand side, and then show you that. All right, so that's what it looks like with both those sheet metal brackets attached. So this will mount, and then that ribbon cable will basically allow your display to float in the right spot, so it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so you're gonna hook up all the wires on the back side. We'll start kind of from right to left. So you'll have this big cluster. The first thing you wanna do, if you've got the backup camera, go ahead and connect these 2. So like that. These are just aux cables. Connect those 2. You can plug this black connector in to here, and then you've got your left and right aux cables, so just follow the sign there at the bottom, white to white, red to red. Then you've got a USB, put it in the USB OTG. And then from this big bundle, you've got this will plug into your car, but then you've got an antenna jack that you wanna plug into. So this goes into the radio antenna there. And then on mine, I've got a GPS antenna. So that's just a little coax cable here, GPS. So you'll screw that in there, and that's the GPS antenna there. And then there's also spots if you're doing like a SIM card for 4G antennas and Wi-Fi, but we're not doing that, so we won't do those. So we'll take this whole bundle back over to the car. We'll connect up all the connectors to the connectors in the car, and then bolt this in and get to the final steps. All right, so now it's a matter of just reconnecting these connectors you see here to the new head unit. You'll have a couple of extra connectors. Don't worry about those. You can just kind of go by which ones fit in where. So I'll get those all connected up, and then I'll push this whole thing in and secure it with those 4 screws, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. And before I do that, I'll attach the GPS, and I'll try and find a good spot for it. You don't want to put it right on metal, so maybe up here by the glove compartment might be a good spot, so it's got a clear view without getting blocked by any of the metal from the chassis. Okay, so you can see I put it back in here. All my connectors are mounted. I've kind of just tucked them all back here. The GPS, you can't see it, but I just used some double sticky tape, and I mounted it to the opposite side of that part, so it's a nice flat surface that it can stick to well. You can probably see the cable going up there. Yeah, right here. So I'll bolt these 4 screws in to mount this, and then I'll go get the actual display and hook that up with the connector here and go from there. All right, so we've got that there. Here's the back of the touch screen. And so all you're gonna do is connect that cable like that, and then click those legs in on either side. So I'll show you what that looks like in a sec once I've connected it. Okay, so that's the cable connected there, and then we'll flip it up. And you'll want to aim those slots into those rectangular holes. There's one on the left and one on the right. Make sure you dress that cable. I'm going to make sure that cable is coming up. Oh, another thing, when you took the original head unit out, mine had that pink connector. That's for the Sirius XM radio. I don't use Sirius, so I didn't even bother connecting that. If you do have Sirius and you want to use it, I'm not actually sure how you connect that up. Okay, so I got everything put back together, but I actually realized there's 2 things I was missing. The first is we need that 4G or the Wi-Fi antenna attached, because that's actually what's going to communicate between your phone and the device. So we put that in there, and that's just behind the unit here. I'll show you where I put that in a second. And then the second is I thought you could use the car's microphone, like the stock microphone, but you actually need to use the microphone that they provided in the kit. So we're going to take this back apart. We're going to add the microphone, and then I'll also show you the 4G Wi-Fi, or sorry, yeah, not the 4G, but the Wi-Fi antenna placement as well. All right, so I'm gonna attach the mic. So what I did is I actually just fed it through back here. If you come under the steering wheel, you can kind of see there's a gap behind this panel that you can just feed it up through the cavity there. And then on the back side here, there's just it's labeled there, mic. You just plug it into that. And then the other thing that I was talking about is the 5G Wi-Fi antenna. It's just right next to the GPS one. You can see it says Wi-Fi on the unit there. And then for that one, I just double sticky taped it right here, so right behind it. And that seems to be a pretty good connection for me. So I'll just connect that microphone, and then I'll kind of dress this cable to, you can kind of see a little lavalier kind of mic, some fuzz on it for me. And then you just put this clip somewhere, wherever you want. So I'll show you that next. So I've got my microphone here. What I did was I just popped this side panel piece off and then just put the wire there, and then it comes kind of through down, and you can't even see it. It's just tucked up under here, like by the e-brake, and that just comes all the way around. You can kind of see it there, right here. I kind of just pulled that tight enough, and then kind of wrapped all the extra here, so that's all nice and tidy. And then I'm just putting everything back together. Okay, so I've got these guys back installed. I got the 4 screws screwed in. Now all we're gonna do is put our left and right trim pieces back in, and it's the same thing, just in reverse of how we put them on the first time, or took them out rather. So you got your piece, snap that kind of front thing in there, and then kind of work your way down, massaging it kind of into place. There you go. And then just make sure all that stuff snapped on, like so. Okay, the left side. Just feeds down, and then you can snap these panels back up and in. Same kind of thing, just takes some massaging, and then you're all set. I just had to seat that further down a little bit to make sure all that stuff lined up. Cool. Okay, so once you're all good, I've reattached the negative lead to my battery. So I'll just start the car. You'll see this comes up. The first time you have it come up, you'll go through some setting menus and things like that. You can kind of follow the instructions for that. So I turned it on, and it is already booting straight into Android Auto. When you first get past the setting menu, you can see Spotify there. You'll be in a home screen like this. There's a bunch of settings you can go into here, go through for your, this should all be pretty good, just from the initial setup stuff, but you can go through all these settings and see if there's anything that you want specifically. I changed, like by default, when you go into reverse, it mutes your music. I turned that off and some things like that. But you come back to home, so you'll want to connect your phone to the Bluetooth. It's like a Rockola Bluetooth network, and then once you're connected, hit Z-Link here. And if you're not connected yet, it'll give you the options for Android Auto and CarPlay. Just hit whichever one that you want, and then it should just instantly load right into it, and then you have Android Auto. So I really like having the big screen for the maps. You don't have to, if you installed the GPS antenna, it'll use that GPS instead of your phone's GPS, so it'll save you on battery. You've got your Spotify and all that stuff, and then you don't need to worry about taking your phone out of your pocket or anything like that. And overall, it's pretty quick. Sometimes it takes a little bit to launch into the Android Auto, but that's just on the startup. Otherwise, everything else is great.